Hi Reds, Manchester United are heading into what could be an absolutely massive final week of the summer transfer window. And there is plenty happening behind the scenes at Old Trafford as the club continue to push for more quality, more depth, and more competition across the squad. One of the biggest stories right now is Alejandro Balde, with Manchester United increasingly confident about bringing the Barcelona left-back to England. The two clubs are now negotiating over the transfer fee, and Barcelona have already given the green light for Balde to travel to Manchester for his medical once an agreement over the fee is reached. That is a hugely positive development for United because the players' side appears to have already reached an agreement on personal terms, with Balde set to sign a 5-year contract running until June 2031, with an additional option included. So, Reds, the situation is becoming very clear. The player is ready, personal terms are agreed, and Barcelona are open to the move. The major piece still missing is the final agreement between the two clubs over the transfer fee. Another important factor is the situation at Barcelona, where Hansi Flick has reportedly made it clear that Balde is not part of his plans moving forward. That could be a major advantage for Manchester United because when a club decides that a player is no longer central to the manager's project, negotiations can become much easier, particularly when the player himself is prepared to make the move. From a Manchester United perspective, Balde would be a very exciting addition at left-back. He has pace, athleticism, the ability to carry the ball forward, and the kind of attacking profile that could give Michael Carrick another dangerous outlet from the back. But the question now is simple. How much will Barcelona demand? And how far are Manchester United prepared to go? Could this be the final left-back deal of the summer for United? And if Balde arrives, does that mean the club will finally walk away from the Lewis Hall pursuit? Speaking of Carlos Belaba, Manchester United supporters could also be celebrating another major arrival very soon, because the midfielder's move from Brighton could officially be announced by the club today. Belaba has already completed his medical and signed his Manchester United contract, meaning the final formal announcement is now expected to be the next major step. This is a signing that could have a massive impact on Carrick's midfield because Belaba brings physical power, athleticism, defensive intensity, and the ability to cover huge areas of the pitch. Manchester United have been looking for more strength and energy in midfield, and Belaba could give the team exactly that. The big question now is how quickly Carrick will be able to integrate him into the starting 11 and whether he can eventually establish himself as one of the first names on the team sheet. With the transfer almost complete, Reds, are you excited to see Belaba in a Manchester United shirt? And do you believe he can become the dominant defensive midfielder this team has been crying out for? Meanwhile, there is also movement surrounding Joshua Zirkzee, with Aston Villa reportedly holding talks with Manchester United as they search for a replacement for Ollie Watkins. Zirkzee is said to be high on Villa's shortlist, although Nicholas Jackson remains their preferred target. Manchester United, however, have not yet given the green light for Zirkzee to leave, and at this stage there is no confirmed potential transfer fee being reported. This is an interesting situation because Zirkzee's future at Old Trafford has been surrounded by uncertainty, but United will surely want to make sure that any departure makes financial and sporting sense. If the club decides to sell, should they demand a significant fee and reinvest that money into another attacking player? Or could Zirkzee still have a role to play under Carrick if given another opportunity? That is one of the big questions hanging over the final days of the window. And then we have Lewis Hall, another left-back who remains firmly on Manchester United's radar. Newcastle United have made their position extremely clear. They do not want to sell Hall, and new head coach Matthias Gisel is reportedly keen to keep the young defender. Reports suggest that United would have to make Hall the most expensive left-back in history to seriously test Newcastle's resolve, with a figure around £70 million being discussed as the kind of money that could potentially tempt Newcastle, although Manchester United are reportedly unlikely to go that high. Personally, this is where the Balde situation becomes particularly fascinating. If United can secure Balde for a significantly more reasonable package, why would they spend an extraordinary amount of money on Hall? Hall is undoubtedly a talented young player, but Manchester United have to be disciplined in this market. The club cannot simply pay whatever Newcastle demand, especially when there are other quality options available. United still have Miles Lewis-Skelly on their radar as well, but Arsenal are reportedly demanding more than £50 million for the 19-year-old, while Mikel Arteta remains confident that the youngster will stay at the Emirates. United reportedly consider that valuation excessive, and Chelsea have also shown interest. Again, this brings us back to the same question. Is Balde now the most realistic and attractive option for Manchester United at left-back? The club appear to have multiple possibilities on the table, but there is a huge difference between being interested in a player and actually completing a deal. With the transfer window rapidly approaching its final days, United must make their decision and move quickly. And then, Reds, there is another name that could potentially explode into the headlines: Jean-Philippe Mateta. Manchester United have reportedly opened club-to-club talks with Crystal Palace over the French striker, with negotiations said to have begun this morning. The most interesting part of this story is the claim that Mateta himself is pushing hard for a move to Old Trafford. If that is accurate, then United could have a player who is genuinely eager to join the club, and that can sometimes make a huge difference during a transfer negotiation. Mateta has developed into a powerful Premier League striker, capable of holding the ball up, attacking crosses, competing physically with defenders, and creating problems inside the penalty area. But United have already invested heavily in their attack this summer, so another major question has to be asked. If Mateta arrives, who leaves? Could this be connected to the future of Zirkzee? Could United be preparing for another striker departure before the window closes? Or is the club simply exploring every available opportunity before making a final decision? That is what makes this final week so exciting for Manchester United supporters. We have Balde negotiations, Balaba's imminent official announcement, Zirkzee attracting interest from Aston Villa, Hall and Lewis-Skelly still being monitored, and now Mateta potentially entering the picture. The Red Devils are clearly not finished yet, and the next few days could be absolutely frantic around Old Trafford. From my point of view, Manchester United need to be smart rather than simply aggressive. Belaba already looks like a huge statement for the midfield, and if Balde can be brought in on sensible terms, that could address another major weakness in the squad. But United should not allow themselves to be dragged into paying £70 million or more for a player simply because Newcastle do not want to sell. The same applies to Lewis-Skelly if Arsenal's valuation goes beyond what United believe he is worth. According to Matteo Moretto, United have started discussions around the possibility of signing the Portuguese forward, although no official bid or formal approach has been made yet. Leão is understood to be open to the possibility of playing in the Premier League, which could make a move to Old Trafford increasingly realistic. AC Milan are believed to be demanding a package in the region of 50 to 60 million euros, including bonuses for Leão. The Italian club's position remains important, but recent reports indicate that his future at San Siro is still uncertain. Manchester United are not alone in the race. Galatasaray remain active in their pursuit of Leão, while other clubs have also been linked with the 27-year-old winger. Milan have been looking for a significant offer before considering his departure. For United, Leão would represent a major attacking option. His pace, 1-versus-1 ability, ball carrying and experience at the highest level could give Michael Carrick another dangerous player capable of attacking from the left. The club have to protect their long-term transfer strategy while still giving Carrick the players he needs to compete. And Reds, this is where I want to hear your opinion. Would you choose Alejandro Balde over Lewis Hall? Do you think Carlos Belaba can become a key starter for Manchester United this season? Should United accept a serious offer for Joshua Zirkzee from Aston Villa, or should Carrick give him more time? And what about Jean-Philippe Mateta? Would you welcome him at Old Trafford, or do you believe Manchester United already have enough attacking options? Most importantly, if you could choose only one more signing before the transfer window closes, who would it be? Balde, Hall, Lewis Skelly, Mateta, or someone completely different. The final days of the summer window are here. Reds and Manchester United could still have plenty of business to do. Busy days are ahead at Old Trafford, and this transfer window may have one more big twist waiting for us. Stay tuned, because as soon as there is another major development, we will bring you all the latest Manchester United news.